Okay, another story was, we were living down here at Alany, and we didn't have much of an income at all. And the first year that we lived down in Alany, it was so muddy that we could not get the corn out. And we had a mounted picker, which made it twice as heavy to try to, so you had to wait until the ground was frozen to get into the field to get this corn out. And so most of the corn was, Burl's mother come down and she helped us, and we shucked this stuff by hand. And that was a long, hard work. But we had the hogs. If we could save the corn, we could use it as feed. We couldn't sell it. It wasn't good enough grade to sell, but we could use it as feed. So, and that's what we did. We used it as feed. Well, then come the next year, come along, and we still weren't progressing like we would like to. And so I mean, the figures were on the books, and I said, I've got to get a part-time job somewhere. And Burl didn't want me to, and I said, but the reasoning is right here. I said, I have this education. I can be a surgical nurse. I could work 3 days a week, and if I worked at a dime store or a dress store, I wouldn't even get that amount of money. Working 3 days a week, if you worked at the regular store, you'd have to work 6 days a week for what I could get at 3. So I went in and talked to the head of the nurses at Richland Memorial, and I had this training to be a surgical nurse. And so she said, we really do need someone part-time. We don't need someone full-time, but you're just what we needed. And I said, well, I really would like to have it so I could come in early and leave early. And of course, they wanted me on the days that they did the most surgery, and that was on a Friday. They did a lot of their surgeries on Friday. And so I usually worked Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then I was off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then I was off that long a time. And so it worked out very well, and I made enough money to buy our groceries and buy our car gasoline and pay the light bill. It was enough money to function the household. And so he was to take care of Maridel. Burl was to take care of Maridel. Well, I had to be to work by 6:30 in the morning, so it meant I had to leave for work at 6:15, drive into Alany, sterilize all the instruments, sterilize all the surgical suites, get everything ready for 8 o'clock surgery to go. So I really did a day's work before 8 o'clock. So here is Burl and Maridel watching cartoons on the couch. Bye-bye, Mom. And I resented that. I really did. And so anyway, Burl was to take care of Maridel. So it come farming time, and Burl had to farm, up and down the rows, plowing, disking, planting, and he had the truck, and it was getting warm, and so he would put a blanket underneath the truck, and he would put Maridel on the blanket. Uncle Otis come along, and he found Maridel crawled out in the ditch. So he went home, and they had a conference. Grandma and Grandpa, Aunt Ida and Uncle Earl, and Ethel and Uncle Otis, and they decided that Burl was not taking care of Maridel anymore, that Grandma and Aunt Zora would take care of her. So back they come to Burl and they said, we're going to take care of Maridel. Something's going to happen to this child. So anyway, we let Grandma and Aunt Zora take care of her, and that was a delight because she learned things from Grandma Holtz and Aunt Zora. She learned all her nursery rhymes, and she was very, well, Maridel was very smart and very, she just, anything you told her, she would memorize. She had a memory that was just unbelievable. You would say Susie Lockett. Susie Lockett, lost my pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Nothing in it, but the binding round it. Too bad. And she always added that, too bad. But she was a delight for them, and it was a great help for us. And I worked at the hospital as a technician until Janice was born. And we had a lot of fun with Grandma and Aunt Zora, and the whole family took care of Maridel. And you see what they would do. They would get her over there and they'd say, now what did your mother and father do? And they would pump her and they'd say, now what did you have for breakfast, Maridel? I had bacon and eggs. But no bacon, Grandma. We didn't have no bacon. We didn't have no money. And that was the end of that. Grandma went to the smokehouse, and when I went home to pick up Maridel, there was 3 big packages of bacon. I want that child to have bacon. So Maridel got her bacon.